Hey everyone, I'm Lisa with Made to Create with Lisa, and I want to welcome you to episode 2 of season 6 of the Great North American Stampin' Show. As you can see, I am wearing a crown tonight. Julie and I actually tied for the winning votes last week in our card creations. So if you missed the videos last week, they were all fantastic for our opening episode of this season. So you should hop on back and watch the videos if you missed it. They were all really great. But I did really like my card, I just have to say. And it was actually really fun to really start stamping for fall and creating for fall. So that's actually what I'm doing again tonight. I'm going to do a fall creation for the inspiration that I'm doing for tonight. We are doing page 17 as our inspiration page from the holiday mini catalog, and I'll show you that close up. So let's go ahead and dive in, and I'll show you what I've got for tonight. Okay, so here is page 17 in the holiday mini catalog, and these are the creations that we had to choose from for our inspiration for tonight's layout. I thought about just packaging up some candy and just telling you that was my inspiration, but I decided I'd better make something. So the card that I chose to use tonight for my inspiration is this one. And the reason that I loved it is because I'm loving the fact that we're back into the trend of ripping paper. It's always been one of my favorites. And so I'm like, yep, it's ripped. I'm all in. So that's what I'm going to use tonight. You can see that this has just, it looks like some sort of DSP, and then layered on there, it looks like that's what's ripped and just very simply stamped. But I'm just using ripping in general as my inspiration for tonight. Okay, so what I'm actually using is this fluffy squirrel stamp set, which I've been dying to use because it has this matching punch, which is adorable. So that is what I'm using to create tonight's card. So while I have all my stamp pads out, I'm just going to go ahead and start out with my sentiment because that's all that I need that ink for. And we'll go ahead and just stamp our sentiment, and then we'll be done with that. And I can move that out of the way. All right, so I'm using crumb cake and early espresso for my inks tonight. And this stamp set has the background and then the outline of the squirrel image. And so I'm using crumb cake for my squirrel body. Do it nice and firmly. Okay. Actually, I did it so firmly that you can see that it made some of the background there. So I'm just going to flip that over and try it again. I did it a little bit too hard. Now this is a circle it's our 2 3/8 inch circle punch. And I had just, here it is. I brought it in here. I didn't think I brought it in here. I just punched that in advance. Now this is the outline stamp. Let's see how well I can do this on camera. Oh, nice, not bad. Okay, so that's it for our little squirrel. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull in my crumb cake card base here, okay? So it's 4 1/4 by 11. It's the cardstock cut the long way, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to do some paper ripping, like I said. Okay, so what I'm going to start to do is I'm just going to guess, and I'm going to start at about here. And I am just going to rip. Now, I like ripping toward me because then you can see that ripped edge. See on the back side, see how it's just all like that? I really like seeing the variegated edge. So that is the edge. That's why you go toward yourself. Now you could save that and use that for something else if you wanted, but that is not what I am doing tonight. All right, I'm pulling in some of the beautiful designer series paper from the Gathering Moments. And they're all beautiful. Let me turn these over so you can see the backs. It has all that gold foil in it, which I love. And so what I'm going to do is I just cut, let's see, how big were these? I think these were about an inch or an inch and a quarter wide, just to give myself enough space to rip. And again, I'm ripping toward myself so that I have that really pretty white edge. I wanted that. And then I want all this color, so I'm gonna rip this side because I want that showing. I guess that doesn't really make sense if you don't know what I'm doing yet, but that's the side I'm gonna choose. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I am going to actually adhere these here like this. Come on. To make a really cool edge. Now see, that one is really close. I think it's a little bit too close. So I'm gonna rip a little bit more off there so it's a little bit more even, not quite so slanted. There, I think that'll be better. Yeah, I like that better because then you can see more of it. So what we're gonna do is we are just going to stack these up and adhere them. Now see, I want them to line up with the back of the card there so they're relatively straight. Need to put that up a little bit more because I ripped that side higher. There we go. So we're going to adhere that down. And what we're doing is just having some fun with it. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on this edge and adhere that like that. Maybe I'm going to do a little bit less. There we go, because otherwise that would be so wide and that one's a lot narrower. And then this will be our final one. And hopefully that's enough. Hopefully I didn't rip too much. No, I think that's going to be perfect. There. Isn't that pretty? And then I do have a little bit of the card base to kind of tie all that together. And that is just making a really fun little card front. So what I'm going to do here is this acorn is part of the stamp set, and I am going to randomly stamp these acorns all over. I guess I could have done this before I ripped it, but that's okay. Let me see here. What we're going to do is we're going to add this guy in here, so that's going to cover that up. So I'll put some over here. Let's see if that looks good. I think I can put another one up there. I think that's pretty good. Actually, I'm going to do one right there because that'll show. Need to keep moving it over a little bit. There, that'll look better. Okay. Now this is from the Spotlight on Nature dies, and it is it's a die set that has all these different sizes of circles, and they all have a really neat edging around them. And look how perfectly this 2 3/8 inch circle fits on there. Isn't that great? It leaves just a really nice outside layer on there. And we can add that there. Now I also wanted to add some ribbon around here before I tie that on. Now I used this last week because it's new for our autumn collection, and I love it so much. It kind of reminds me of hay or straw, whatever you want to call it. And I am all about that. I think that it looks really cool. The one thing I don't like about it is that it's just a really strange texture. It feels really odd. So it's a tiny bit weird to work with, but I love the look of it so much that I'm willing to work with it. because I love the way it looks. Like I said, kind of like straw, but it's really firm. I really do like it. Okay, and then I did have my twine here because I wasn't sure how this was going to look. So let's just play with this. I don't think that I'm going to like this, but I thought that I would see. Now, if you've stamped with me at all, you know that I kind of like to test things out. There's nothing wrong with giving something a try, and then you can always take it off if you don't like it. But I thought I would tie that straw stuff in a knot and then add this baker's twine in a bow on top to just give more color. So let's see if we like that. I think that I do like it. What do you think? Oops. I think I do like it. I'm going to leave it. Okay. So it's just fun to play, right? All right. Now, I might have to move that over. What did I do with my circle? Oh, it's right here, right in front of me. I need to move it over just a hair, so I'm going to slide that over, and that looks fabulous. So let's put some dimensionals on the back of this one. Now, I was thinking that he needed to hold an acorn. So we need to stamp an acorn for him to put in his hands. So he needs to be standing. Okay, this is totally coming together. Super cute. Okay. So, you know what? I am just now remembering that I was going to put this on the inside because I knew that it wouldn't really fit. So let's forget that I did that. Let's just go ahead and stamp our acorn here. And then we'll go ahead and bring in our blends and just color in our acorn. See, this is my crumb cake, my light and dark crumb cake. Whoops. Okay, and then this one was from the neutrals selection. And let me get my punch. I didn't end up obviously punching out the squirrel tonight, but it is very handy to be able to use for that. That was a scrap, so I'm not going to be sad that I wasted all of that. That's okay. All right, let's pull this over here. Look how cute that is. Kind of blends in with his body since it's sort of all the same colors, but that's okay. It's adorable. Okay, that's looking super, super cute. Okay, now let's decorate the inside of the card. All right. So I thought that it would be cute to put acorns down here. All right, I don't know why I didn't push hard enough there. I think it's because I'm at a little bit of an angle. So I'll just add that in. All right, I thought that would be cute. And then let's go ahead and put our sentiment on the inside of the card. I forgot that I had glanced at that and thought, okay, there's no way that's all gonna fit on my card front. It's kind of a large sentiment. Okay. Now, if you had measured your paper a little bit wrong or you were off a little bit, you could always trim this. But isn't it fun once you open it that you can see the different prints of the paper? I think that's cool. So that is actually the card. You could add some gems on it if you wanted. You could add some background here or add some ground that he's sitting on. You could totally go wild with it. You could do all different color combinations, but this is just a really fun technique with the ripped layering for the bottom. Let me show you my inspiration piece again. So I use this for my inspiration, which this had ripping on the top and the bottom. And then this one just had some actually really simple stamping, but the ripping is what just really puts it over the top. And so I thought that I would have fun with that ripping technique today. Isn't it fun? So I hope you like that one. Okay, here it is. I hope you liked it. I think it's a really neat technique. Ripping is totally fun. Some people are really scared of it, and I don't know why. I just think it's easy. So just try it. If you haven't tried it before, give it a shot. It's really fun and easy to do. And I just love all of those fall papers together. I did this for this paper for a card class. Well, actually, wait a minute. It's this month. It's next week. I already cut it, so I couldn't think of what day it is. Anyway, this paper is fantastic to create with, and so I've just really enjoyed playing with it. So grab it. It's beautiful. It has beautiful gold foils in it, and it's just a lot of fun. So thanks for being here. Be sure to go to the other ladies' videos. All of the links are in my description of this video. Go to each of the videos and watch them, and then give us a thumbs up to show us which one your favorite is. That's your vote for who gets to wear the crown next week. So I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you again soon.